Alexa, play Perfect Places by Lorde. Just kidding, I don't have an Alexa, I'm broke. Hi, hello, how's it going? It's Lo. Today I'm gonna try a new thing. I'm gonna try to talk about a book that I actually like, or a book that I vaguely dislike, in 10 minutes or less. This is going to be called Wednesday's Book Review. So this is a new thing that I'm trying out to see if I can actually talk more about books instead of just complaining at the camera for 40 minutes at once. I know my videos are long, I'm sorry, I just talk too much. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this one short. Today's book review is going to be of Normal People by Sally Rooney. Normal People by Sally Rooney follows two main characters, Marianne and Carnell. Marianne and Connell. I was going to say Cornwall, but that is not it. This is literary fiction, so there is nothing surreal about this book. It's a book, like the title says, about normal people. These people are not extraordinary, they have their own issues, sometimes they're kind of annoying, but that's just us. That's how we are as human beings. Like, this is just a very mundane story about two very mundane people who are just navigating around each other, like all of us are. Truth be told, the reason why I liked Normal People so much is because I love myself some juicy gossip. This book is a perfect book if you like some sweet, sweet gossip. This is like, I found myself every once in a while turning to my boyfriend and being like, you won't believe what Connell did this time. And my boyfriend would be like, who the fuck is Connell? And I'm like, a character from a book. And he would say that I'm a nerd. And he would be correct. And listen, I don't like spreading gossip, I just like retaining the information, okay? And so this book was perfect for this because I retained so much information about these two people who are just so mundane and regular and just boring, and that is not a bad thing. I've been reading a lot of fantasy, and even the books that I have read that are not fantasy usually talk about people who are extraordinary in some way, almost as if you need to be extraordinary in some way for your life to be interesting to be talked about. Normal People sort of flips that assumption in its head because it talks about two very normal people who are just trying to live life. And it follows them in such mundane tasks that you can feel that your own life sort of has poetry as well. Your own mundane tasks, your own mundane things, your own extremely ordinary heartbreaks, all those things are incredibly important as well. And there's poetry and beauty in that as well. And so they're just all the time concerned about being normal and appearing normal and looking normal. This book, it's a book exploration of one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite authors, who is Clarice Lispector. Clarice Lispector has a quote in one of her books that she says, am I a monster, or is this what it means to be a person? And I feel like this is exactly the thing with normal people. These are people who all the time are concerned about the fact that they're not normal, that they're outliers in a way, that they can't fit in. And that is what makes them so normal. That's what makes them so ordinary. And I absolutely loved it. I loved how mundane and ordinary it was because it made me feel a little bit better about how my own life is mundane. Because a lot of people are like, oh, Lou, you're an attorney, your life is not boring. Bro, my life is really boring. It's not all excitement that you see in TVs. Even when you're an attorney, you get tired, you get exhausted, you have relationship problems at work, and it just gets so grating, and you get depressed, and there's just so much that goes on when you do professions that people say, oh, there's so much drama, so much chaos. It really, most times, it's just very boring because life is just very boring most of the time. You have so many stretch of days where nothing happens, and I feel like this book really captures this really well, and that sometimes when things happen, they're not necessarily good things. Sometimes they're bad things that happen, and you're like, dude, like, bro, really? This fucking time? Is this that's going to happen to me? Yeah, that's what's going to happen to you, because life works like that sometimes. Again, if you don't like literary fiction, you're probably not going to like Normal People, but if you enjoy literary fiction, there's a book that I really think that looks a lot like this one, is the what's the name of it in English? The Unbearable Lightness of Being. If you like The Unbearable Lightness of Being, you're probably going to like Normal People. And if you like Normal People, you're also going to enjoy The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. So basically, this is a book that just explores what it means to be a regular old human with all the idiosyncrasies and everything that makes us us, but also everything that makes us extremely ordinary and no, not extraordinary at all. And it's so good. It's so good. It's really a character exploration, an in-depth character exploration that I don't think I've seen in a book. It's a character study. It's a character study of two very normal, regular people, and I am a huge fan of character study, so I absolutely loved it. There are some things that are discussed in Normal People, especially gender and class. A lot of people say that the aspect of class is the most remarkable. I don't really see it that way. I think the aspect of gender and the idea of trying to fit in, trying to be normal, trying to be regular, trying to have people recognize you as a person, which implies trying to fit in some way. All of that is actually very interesting. And the class aspect I felt was a little bit on the back burner for a majority of the book, which is why I didn't like it as much as I could, because I thought that the class thing was going to be much more at the forefront of it, but it's not. But it's not an issue. Like, I really like the book. I just thought that this aspect could have been explored more, but there was a focus to explore more of the interpersonal relationships between Connell and Marianne, which is fine by me. I really don't mind. But yeah, I absolutely loved Normal People. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5 stars was, again, because of the discussion on class, but also because the way that the book is written, it's written without the quotation marks, so it's very difficult for you at the beginning to know who's talking and who's thinking and who's like what's being said. It takes a while to get used to it, and I never really truly got used to it, so I'm not a huge fan of the format of the writing of the book. But other than that, I absolutely loved it. And again, if you liked Normal People, you're probably going to like the unbearable lightness of being, because it's very similar in the vibe. And I absolutely love the unbearable lightness of being. So yeah, I think that you're going to enjoy it as well. If you've read Normal People, let me know in the comments what you thought. If you're planning on reading, let me know in the comments what you thought. This has been just a very quick review, and I'm trying to get as many short and concise reviews as I possibly can, just so we can have more discussions on books. So let me know if this format works for you, like this really quick, sure, rapid fire book review. As always, you can always buy me a coffee on my Ko-fi, or you can also find information on commissions on reviewing, beta reading, and sensitivity reading. You can also follow me on Patreon, where you can get early access to all of my videos and many other things. But anyways, yeah, this was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!